Welcome to Black Hat Windows 2K Security, held February 14th through the 15th, 2001 in Las Vegas, Nevada. The following videotape was recorded live at the conference and produced by the Sound of Knowledge Incorporated. This is videotape number 13B, a continuation. Deep Knowledge Track, Falling Dominoes.
No, I think that's good enough for now. If somebody else wants to see that, we can come back. All right. We are going to get started here. Just real quick for those people that just joined us and missed the first portion of this. And I'm sorry, we're going to have to keep the doors open because we're having we're doing a wireless network here, which is going out to the internet. We're having a few problems because they couldn't get the antenna close enough to us. So we're actually shooting this thing across the next conference room. When we close the doors, we kind of lose the connection. So, so bear with us. And then now we've just found out Alta Vista is kind of acting a little bit iffy. So, but we're going to go ahead and try to proceed here. All right, just to cover a couple of the topics, what we discussed before, we're talking about Lois Notes and Domino security vulnerabilities. And just to wrap up what we talked about previously is that there's multiple vulnerabilities that exist within a Domino infrastructure. If you're not familiar with the difference between Notes and Domino, Notes is typically used to refer to the client, and Domino is basically the Notes server, if you will. Some of these vulnerabilities actually exist. Yeah, they're causing serious threats. As we mentioned in the last session, a big portion of this is coming from just ignorance of system administrators, developers, not understanding what they're actually doing. They're actually exposing a lot of this stuff, and this is where we're in the second part of the presentation, we're going to show practical examples of this. Some of the examples you're going to see are going to be URL syntax problems where you can give special URL crafted queries and get returns of information that is actually published, but is not, the administrators aren't aware that they're actually publishing these documents out there on the internet. We may touch, if everybody wants to kind of go back later, we can actually do the ID file problems later for the people who missed it, but we'll wait till the end to touch on that. But a lot of the stuff that you're going to see here now is actually information which is stored in Notes databases or in Domino databases on the web servers. These are all publicly accessible web servers. And I have to emphasize this, what we're about to show is not even, I won't even qualify as hacking in the terms of breaking passwords or anything else. We're just going to show you what's out there on the internet. I mean, there's already discussions going around and bug track and everything else about, you know, credit card security on e-commerce sites and everything else, where people are using, you know, different types of attacks to return credit card information. We're not actually even attacking anything. This is published information. It's on the web server. You can actually get these values back by entering specially crafted queries into search engines. One of those search engines, which Walter is going to demonstrate, is Alta Vista.
Hopefully.
Yeah, if it works. So anyway, I'm just going to let Walter go ahead and start off here and start with his examples.
Yeah, before maybe it's better if I can take that. There you go. First, I'm going to talk a bit about the objectives of why I want to show this, and then do the demo. And hopefully, you guys be a bit shocked, and we'll get some interesting discussion going on. What I want to show you is that instead of organizations making a reasonable effort to safeguard their data, in fact, they are actually publishing information, and in that way they are promoting trouble. They are asking for trouble, yeah, and they are asking for illegal activity being performed on their websites or via the information that is on their websites. And what I want to go to is Well, who is crossing the line here? Is that me as a web browser, as an anonymous web browser, looking at a website, or is it a company that is making a mistake in publishing information? Is there a line to be crossed, and where is that? There's several ways that you can find Domino sites out there on the internet, and you can either hit them by accident. If you're on a website, you will see it's a Domino site by either the HTTP header, or what you will see in the URLs, you see a .nsf, which points towards a Lotus Notes database. But as Chris Goggins, who unfortunately had to catch his plane, told me a while back that it has an interesting site survey on all kinds of different web servers. And they have a very nice overview of Domino sites. And the other thing is Alta Vista, which also gives you a nice opportunity to identify Domino sites. Unfortunately, Alta Vista seems to be having some problems today. Either they heard of what we are going to do, or they just seem to be having problems, but I'll see how far we can go. Again, I want to point out that what I'm going to show, it's live on the internet. I am acting as an anonymous user, so to my honest feeling, I am not trespassing anything. I just want to show you guys how dangerous it is if you don't lock yet down your Domino sites. With everything that we have shown in the past 1.5 hours in the previous session, you can apply it in real life. So pay attention to that. It actually does work. Okay. Let's first go to either the index we can go to, or we can simply find websites in here. And what you usually see in Domino or Lotus Notes sites is that they have subdomains, such as domino.site.com and those kind of things. So if you are looking for Domino sites in the government, for instance, you could type in *notes*.gov. And it will get from its survey a list of databases, or a list of websites that are Domino sites. And here we have a site which is called www.notes.gov. It is so if I take this shortcut, let's first open up that link and go to the website. Please. Let's see if I have a link. Well, I should be having a link. Just give it a second. Well, it's going to be one hell of a demo.
While we're waiting on this, one of the things why this is kind of an interesting topic, at Black Hat Amsterdam, Jennifer Granick, if you're familiar with her, she is an attorney who specializes in computer security law. Oh, okay. Is it coming up?
It is coming up, but
Slow.
it's a bit slow.
But anyway, one of the things that she was talking about, the question came up, is it, if you hit a website and you see a page on there that's obviously, it's an administrator page and the whole thing's exposed, and you haven't done anything to hack, it's just there, are you actually breaking the law? And apparently it's becoming a questionable issue, because there's apparently been one case already where all they did was get the system administrator up on the stand, and he said, well, I didn't intend for somebody to see that. So the person who got in trouble for viewing this page, and here again, he didn't use any tools to break into the website or anything, it was just some document stuffed a couple of directories down, gets in trouble for this. So we're looking at this, and we don't see one case of this. We're seeing this by hundreds and hundreds of dozens You can go to Alta Vista and give these queries and look for just specific information. And these sites and pages are being indexed on these search engines. So if we can see it, everybody else can see it. And who's really the trespasser, or who's the one who's at fault? Is it the system administrator who's not doing his job properly to secure his documents? Or is it the average browser who happens to stumble across one of these things? Anyway.
Okay. In the first session, Kevin showed a tool that we use to conduct an inventory on databases in a domain. And the tool is going towards the catalog.nsf. So here's what happens if we do this for the Here's the catalog.nsf, which gives an overview of all the databases in the network. I can open a view, and you will see all their databases. And we're not doing anything wrong here. It gets worse. Because if the catalog.nsf is left open for anonymous access, what about the names.nsf? It is open for anonymous access. So, again, going back to what we showed you before, there's ways to look at information in going to the $users view. Give it some time to build up. You will notice that if I have some results here. Meanwhile, let me start up the notes client.
And I'm sorry, do you actually have the cameras rolling? Actually, Jeff had asked that we turn off the cameras.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that he...
Yeah? Yeah, the lawyer, yeah, let me explain this one. The lawyer said that he didn't feel that there could be any actual problem with this, but at the same time, he didn't want to go looking for it. So the lawyer that he's got in the retainer said it would probably be okay to do this presentation, but let's not videotape it, let's not put it on the web, let's not, stick a flag out there that said, hey, sue us. And we don't want to get Black Hat in trouble, or Jeff, or anybody associated with it. So.
Okay, took some time, but I believe it is actually coming. There it is. So what we see here is the $users view of the names and address book. And as you can see, there's many users in there. Okay. Now if we go to the right of this view, scroll over, you'll see nothing here. There you go, a little bit further, a little bit further. Oops, what's that? These are password hashes. Okay. So, and what we showed you in the previous session is that the password hash, since it is not salted, it can be brute forced. Yeah. So I could import this view by means of XML into my little notes database and calculate some basic hashes, and I'll bet that I get a 1% hit out of all the users that are registered in here. Yeah, and you can even go a little bit deeper and see if this organization has ID files attached to their person documents. Because if they do, well, then we can become a validated, authenticated user at labor.
Here again, here again, he's typing in all this stuff. He's typing in the URL commands just to go straight to the point. But we're going to show you later where all this stuff is being indexed by Alta Vista and other search engines. So you can actually do queries in search engines, and you're getting hits off of user documents off these sites, because these databases, they're wide open, and the search engines are cataloging this.
Okay. Now, I'm not actually going to try to take an ID or whatsoever. I think the point comes across, right? So now let's try and see if Alta Vista is alive. And why Alta Vista? Because they allow you to enter queries that are, how do you say that, Boolean queries. So you can search for specific URLs. And you should understand that stuff like the names.nsf or catalog.nsf, if that appears in a URL, then it means it must be readable. So, but AltaVista is not really doing anything. Also has this ability. Okay. So let's go for names.nsf and see if we can get any results. Hold on. Is AltaVista up? There you go, AltaVista is up. Let's do it in AltaVista. URL, colon, names.nsf. And press enter. And hopefully, anyway, what we'll end up with is a whole list of URLs of websites that have that are basically publishing their names.nsf via AltaVista. Same syntax?
It is AltaVista. They've taken some of the content out and run on a different server.
Thank you.
It's Blake.
Sorry?
It's Blakey also.
That sucks.
Yeah, you got connection.
Yeah.
Fair.
You're talking about no real privacy. You should have no expectation of privacy because they're actually paying you to go.
I'm sorry?
The argument before was the way, since they're publishing it, they're making it available, they should have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Yeah, I mean, they're sticking this stuff on their web servers and they're not taking the time to actually secure the documents. And if it's an e-commerce site and they're accepting credit cards on that web server for processing, and they're storing the credit cards in there. I mean, we've done some of these queries in AltaVista, and the credit card numbers are coming up in the search results. And it's just like, hello, you know. So if we're, and now we're giving, the queries we are giving are kind of looking for this, but somebody else could give something very similar, looking for something else. You know, he could be doing a research paper on the history of Visa. You know, and so if he types in something like that, it comes back with those results. It's the same thing.
Okay, well, we finally have some result, and as you can see, these are all sites that have names.nsf databases. Here you go. Whatever has names.nsf open for world access. So, and again, you can go in there and do your thing. It gets more troublesome if you're going to advanced searches where you say, are you guys familiar with what happens if you submit a document, submit a form in a Dominoes server? You will always have a URL that resembles ?open form. Okay? As soon as you submit a document via the web, you have an open form element in there. So suppose that we are looking for organizations that submit interesting information, such as ?open form in the URL and it will spew out a whole list of websites that allow you to purchase things with your credit card. You see, here they are. So let's see. I'm going to find one that that I already warned.
But it really comes back to the basic fundamental question: who's, in this case, who's actually the one that's violating the law? Is it Valter, who's just entering stuff in a search query, or is it the party which is responsible for maintaining the privacy of the data that they've got on their system?
Proxy server would be a good answer.
I'm sorry?
Proxy server, just get involved. The proxy server get involved.
Does the proxy server get involved?
No, let somebody else's proxy server.
Oh, yeah, well.
That's what I'd say about that.
So here, for instance, we have an organization that you can pay $24 a month to get all the CDs. And you can enter your name and details, etc., and your credit card details. If you look at the URL up here, you see they open a form named M there. And ugb.nsf is the database. So if you create a URL that says database.nsf $default nav, apparently the guy has tried to hide all his views, but during development he made 2 copies, and the copies were not hidden. So, and they're still here. These are views that we could take a look at. Being a Nodes developer, you immediately see that he made 2 copies of an original view called all members. And what you will see is here, every green dot is a purchase order with a credit card number. I'm not going to show you the details of these purchases, if you don't mind. Yeah? And it's the same with another one that I found. I happen to know that one by heart. This is the website of the in California. And again, we're an anonymous user. We have not supplied any password whatsoever. And we're going to make a contribution. And what you can see here is they are opening up a form called contribute. We are not. We are again going into the $default nav. Oops, typo. There you go. Now we are looking at all kinds of views, and it looks as if this view will show us all the documents in this database. So let's take a look at that view. And there's a whole lot of information in here. And it appears as if this is from '97. There's an interesting, powerful feature in Nodes, that's the full text search index. So let's go there, and let's provide a Boolean query here, where I say field form equals contribute. So this query will result in an overview of documents with the form that have the form contribute.
I'm really glad Bush is in office now.
And we found 56 contributions. The last one was made on the 11th of February this year, which is last week actually, I think. Again, I think I'm not going to open this document because there's plenty of details underneath. So you can see exactly which individual person made what contribution. And you have his credit card number. Everything.
Yeah.
To give you another example, and again, mind, we did not supply a password whatsoever. Here we have a big publishing firm, and you can log in as a client. Client log in, we have to supply a password, and we don't have it. So we press escape. And it comes back with a message that it could not authenticate us, and it is offering us to click here to request the username and password to be sent to us. But look at the URL at the bottom, where it says e.nsf request reminder, question mark open form. So if we copy this and put it in here, we are not requesting There you go. And this contains, these are all views, yeah? Views with FTP passwords, views with I don't know how many thousands of users and their login name and password.
Again, a lot of these views, an experienced notes developer is going to look at a lot of these views, and you'll probably be able to recognize that a lot of these were probably created while they were developing the application for the ease of use of debugging and everything else. And this goes back to what the Foundstone guy said just yesterday. And there's so many people who are trying to make this move. So many companies are making this move to zero knowledge administration, zero knowledge development equals zero knowledge security. And I think that they're really on target with that statement, because this stuff just gets rapid development. Nobody goes back and double checks any of this stuff, and it's sitting wide open, like you're seeing here.
So, well, you can go on and on and on, and it is the same for submission of QA. Yeah, you have this big company where you can submit your CV to apply
resume.
For resume. Okay, yeah. Thank you. To supply your resume for a job, headhunting companies, but also big accounting firms. And you can see all the applicants, what their present position is, how much they want to make, etc., etc. That hurts. And yeah, to me it is more a question of, hold on. There's so many people out there that do not spend attention to security. You can go for weeks and weeks after Alta Vista and you will never get bored. It's amazing. And it even goes to military sites that are publishing documents that they didn't intend to publish. It's all the same mistakes, everything that we described here. And the question again is, who is crossing the line? What is the line? Where do I have to stop? Is it illegal, me showing you here why security is so important? Is it illegal to view information that is not meant for publication? Again, as Kevin said, Jennifer Granick told us, well, there's law going to be passed here in the States. But if you find something, well, you have to close your eyes.
By the way, y'all are welcome to jump in and here anytime. I mean, we kind of intended this to be more of a discussion topic at this point. So if anybody's got anything that wants to comment.
So you're typing catalog, you're accessing logs activity most of the time, or logging in.
Sorry?
Can someone do it? Say how many times someone's on my catalog file or my name.file? Can you tell as a notes administrator when you're working?
Yeah, you weren't actually here in the first session. Let me explain that. If you didn't hear it, he's asking if all this is getting logged. We actually demonstrated a little tool here, because with Notes, one of the things that it will do, it natively supports, there's a URL command that you can give read view entries, and instead of spitting this stuff out in HTML, it converts it to XML. So you get the same information, except it's formatted in XML format. Where this really gets interesting is that most developers and administrators develop a special log database called the DOM log, short for Domino log, and that actually logs all the web hits. Now in that, they do a lot of the same type of development that you see in some of these applications, creating custom views. So they'll actually just create to make everything easier for them to find. Like most administrators, they don't care how many JPEGs, GIFs, and Java classes were loaded. They just want to see who hit what pages, and that's all they really care about. And typically what's used is they'll just create a little filter. It says anything that's HTML, put that in my view. So by doing an XML request, that gets discarded and they never actually see any of this. Now all the stuff that we're kind of doing up here, yeah, that's going to get logged, and if somebody ever checks one of these log files, they might go, "Rrr." But if you actually are trying to penetrate a site, it would be better off to use XML, since that stuff most likely will never be read to begin with. since that gets discarded in the view. So that's one kind of a way around it.
But is there anybody out here that has websites built for their company?
Nobody's going to volunteer a website?
How are the other bases and the other solution robots reaching the names.nsf files and index them? Is there a default place where these files can be they're shown so that the robot can index them?
I haven't actually, well, the question is how that indexing works. Yeah, and so
How are the other basic robots reaching the names.nsf files and catalog and NSF files?
Usually what happens is a lot of these sites will actually set up, especially like some of the publishing companies we've seen, they'll actually build a directory, a name and address book for everybody internal. And
It's not like a default, there is no default place where it's released so that I'm searching to
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
specifically create an application that contains the URL of that containing names of the NSF or the other NSF. There isn't like a default page where they're all listed
Where all of the databases are listed? Well, usually what happens is they create some sort of intranet site where they've got links into the catalog for their own internal users. And because there's a link there and it says, you know, click here, the search engine just goes on and just goes from there.
that was exactly my question. So they have to create it so that
Yeah, there's usually a link created somewhere from there.
yeah. Okay, yeah, well, basically, I want to leave it with this.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
unless there's any more questions from your side.
Yeah? Okay.